My name is Becky Thomason, and I'm the Complaince Director at Generations. I've been with Generations since we opened, actually before we opened. Before we started Generations, there were a lot of boys who had been abused and neglected, who had been placed in psychiatric facilities. The only alternative at the time was correctional setting. When Generations was formed in 1991, what we're seeing now is a lot of families whose eyes have been opened, a lot of kids who are being very successful. They're going back to school, they're participating in sports, they're becoming real families. One boy in particular that we had who came to us in, I believe it was 1993, came in because he had abused two of his nieces. And at that point in time, in '93, there was very little known in South Carolina about exactly what to do with these boys. He had gone through the court system. He was convicted of a sex crime. And we got him shortly after that. And I remember when he came in, he looked very much like a lot of our boys looked when they first come into the program. And his eyes were down on the floor, and there was not a lot of happiness at all. His shoulders kind of sagged. After he was here for a while, we started working with him in group, and we started talking about his own history and his own family history and what had happened. And he talked about sexual abuse when he was younger, but he also disclosed to us that his father and his brother were serving life sentences for rape. And in his family, this was just something that he felt like he couldn't escape. And yet he always knew, he told us in his heart, that that was very wrong. After he sat in group for a while, he started perking up a little bit, and he got a little even bouncy sometimes. He had really bright blue eyes and a huge smile that he would give us when he came in, and he told us one day that he understood now. He said, "I get it. I see what happened to me," and I thought for so many years that I was going to end up where my dad and brother are, because I thought that's just what happens to us. And he said, now I can see that that's different. Even as recently as last week, I saw one of our boys in the new program at Pathways who looked very similar to Andy, the first child I talked about, who came to us looking very unsure of himself, very ashamed of what he had done, and really didn't know how to conduct himself. And I just saw him again a few weeks ago, and he's made that transformation. His face was bright, his eyes were shining, and he didn't have the same need to act out in order to get attention. He was getting attention because of who he is. And that's what we want to do at Generations.